Alright folks, last tutorial in this series, I'm going to show you this time how to make a realistic looking Christmas tree instead of a stylized one. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to create a straight line. Alright. And now I'm going to change this slightly. I want to make it look something along these lines, and I want to make sure that I've chosen a butt cap here. In the line gallery, just choose, if yours is set to round cap, it rounds the ends, so I've changed mine to a butt cap. And this looks pretty good. 64 pixels wide is enough. This is going to make up the trunk of my tree. The next thing I want to do is take my brush tool, my brush and freehanded brush tool, and start creating some branches. All right, and I don't want to be that big. I'll do something more along the lines of 24. Yeah, and the idea behind what I'm doing here is not to actually create any branches that are going to be seen, but to give myself a framework for which my tree is going to look. A framework for which to paint over, right? Doesn't really matter what I'm doing here. Like I say, I'm going to cover all of this up at some point. But this is something that anybody and everybody can understand. You know, school child can go through and make this kind of tree. Yeah? All right, so once I have kind of a framework to build off of, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill my trunk, right? So right now my trunk is a line, but I can click on the Arrange menu and say Convert Line to Shape, yeah, and now it's a shape. So now it says one shape on Layer Mouse Off. The next thing I want to do is I'm trying to make this look realistic, so I'm going to give this a fill. And under Wood Textures in the Fill Gallery, there's one called Bark 2. And I'm going to select Bark 2. And with my line selected, hit the Fill button. Yes? And this feels way too big, but if I bring it down a little bit, there we go. Looks like real bark on a tree. Now, again, most of this is going to get covered up. You're only going to see the base of this tree. Now, the next bit that I need to do is start adding in the branches of the tree. And again, like I said, I'm going to use these kind of quickly drawn branches as outlines. Now, what I'm going to do for this is I have gone out to Talk Graphics under their brushes gallery, and one of the very top sticky post in that gallery is the A to Z index with thumbnails, right? And in that, I found one called Evergreen Moss from Ivan Louette. And if I click on that, it opens up one, and here's a ZAR file that you can download. Once you download that, this is what it looks like. Yeah? And if you have that open, and and you go back to your tree, it makes something that you can use. Now I'm going to change this to this fir. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that there for now. And I'm going to start drawing over my branches here. Now I'm doing this with a drawing tablet, but you can easily do this with any old brush tool, right? You can just do whatever you want. You can change your stroke shape to be whatever you want. But anyway, that's kind of the way it works. Yeah. Let's go along here. And I'm not worrying about this too much right now. I'm leaving some gaps. You can still see some of the black in here. Yeah. It's taking some time on some of this to realize that it still has a way to go. What I mean by that is that after I draw it, it's taking a second to finish rendering it. Yeah. Now, going through and doing this, and I'm just kind of following along with the lines that I've already drawn here. Which is all well and good. But as you can see, it leaves some pretty big gaps in the tree. So you just go along after the fact and fill some of that in. You can do some really kind of short strokes as well to fill in things here at the trunk. You know, long strokes, short strokes, however you want to do it. Yeah, starting to look more or less decent. Still going through and making sure that I've covered up all the little black. Anyway, once I've done, I've got more or less a realistic tree. I'm going to go through and clean up that line that I drew before that was off to the side. And that looks pretty decent. Now I can go through and decorate this as I will. I'm going to make a couple of last minute adjustments. Yeah. And yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay, now I am going to, now there's a lot of stuff going on here, right? I mean, there are probably thousands of shapes involved in these branches. So because I don't need all of this necessarily, I'm going to take that and say arrange, create a bitmap copy, or Control Shift C. Yeah, True Color plus Alpha is great. And there we go, there's my bitmap copy. So I'll just move that off to the side for now. And again, I'm going to drag select all of this. And I'm just going to get rid of that. And now I've got my nice little Christmas tree. Yeah. realistic looking one. And then I will grab all this and, whoops, bring it to front again, just so I don't have to worry about things being behind other things. And I can go and start placing these on my Christmas tree. Yeah. And even bring my garland over if I'd like. Yeah. And there we go. There is my stylized Christmas tree. Not stylized, sorry. Realistic looking Christmas tree. And if I group that, I've got everything that I want. And page. I still have to shrink this down a little bit, don't I? To get it all on the page. And there we go. There's my realistic Christmas tree.